A very good evening and a warm welcome to Buddhist Mahavihara's Facebook page here live. We are going live with our Dhammadana series, which we do every Friday and every Sunday. And I think we have been doing this now close to almost 11 months since the COVID pandemic started. And we've had a fairly good run. And this evening, in conjunction with International Women's Day, we thought we'll do a theme that is coinciding with women's issues, and we are very glad that we have with us a lady, a very respected and distinguished lady from Sri Lanka. Her name is Dr. Nipunika Dilani. She's a senior professor at the Sri Lanka, one of the top Sri Lankan universities, and she'll be talking on women's immense contribution to Buddhism. I would now like to invite Dr. Nipunika onto the studio. Good evening, Doctor. Good evening. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I had to your mic muted just now. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, okay. For those of you who are not familiar with Dr. Nipunika, actually, Dr. Nipunika was with us in, I think, April or May of last year. She joined the Dhammadana series and she gave a Dhamma sharing then. And she has been very busy this last year, I think doing her lectures online with her students. And we're lucky to have her this evening. Let me quickly read her profile. Um, Dr. Nipunika obtained her Bachelor of Arts in 2006 from the University of Peradeniya in Sri Lanka, majoring in English, psychology, and sociology. She then obtained a Master's in Arts in Linguistics in 2010 from the University of Kelaniya. Dr. Nipunika then did her PhD in 2014 from the Buddhist and Pali University in Sri Lanka by submitting her thesis entitled A Comparative Study of the Treatment of Sexual Jealousy in Buddhist Jataka Stories and in William Shakespeare's Othello. That's a very interesting juxtapose between Buddhist Jataka stories and William Shakespeare's Othello. She's currently a senior lecturer at the Department of English at the Buddhist and Pali University of Sri Lanka. She's also attended numerous courses had presented research papers at many conferences in Sri Lanka and overseas. She was also the marking examiner at the Department of Examinations in Sri Lanka. She aspires to reach the top of academia in literature and linguistics and intends to assist and inspire her students to be the best in their respective fields. With that, we would now like to invite Dr. Nipunika to start this evening's Dhamma sharing on the subject the woman's immense contribution to Buddhism. Doctor?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Leslie, and good evening to everybody. Good evening, Venerable Sirs and my dear Dhamma friends. Namo Buddhaya. My topic is women's immense contribution to Buddhism. Actually, I am very happy to talk about the contribution of women towards Buddhism today, in parallel with the Women's Day we celebrated few days ago. I feel like that true contribution of women to Buddhism is very broad. To talk within half an hour, but I would I would like to start with a strong claim that if there were no contribution of women towards Buddhism, Buddhism will not exist in the world for us today. So I would like to salute every woman who has contributed to Buddhism, who has contributed to the existence of Buddhism. Here I am going to discuss how various female characters have contributed various ways throughout the history for the prevalence of Buddhism for more than 2500 years now. Uh, Throughout the history, women have been great pillars behind men and have contributed Buddhism in parallel with men in the Buddhist world. The best two examples are like Queen Mahaprajapati, who fostered the Prince Siddhartha Gautama to be the Buddha and the Queen Yasodhara, who helped to the maximum to set Bodhisattva free from worldly bonds. Like, it's better to start having a look at the pre-Buddhist society, because like it helps us to understand what a difference the Buddha has made towards women. So, in the pre-Buddha period, women were regarded as slaves. Actually, they were like commodities that a man could use in different ways according to his whims and fancies. Women were expected only to satisfy men, bear children for them, and to do all the domestic work for men. Further, men always expected women to respect, honor, and worship their decisions, but in return, what women received are only insults and misery. So, in other religions, in pre-Buddha period, women were not allowed to enjoy even their basic needs. Actually, like when we take a woman's lifespan before the Buddha's period, the like in her childhood, she lived under the control of father. Then, after the marriage, she had to live under the husband. Like in her old age, she had to live under the control of her sons. In that manner, the women didn't have their own life. They didn't have any freedom to enjoy their life. But the Buddha not only relieved women from their sufferings, but showed them the way of the worldly and spiritual development for them. He opened the avenues of enlightenment for women who were caged in by the contemporary religious teachings. Emancipation of women from the prevalent restrictions in the society can be taken as a radical step taken by the Buddha at that time. Because, like that, actually, as I explained earlier, women had no freedom for their to lead their life freely before the Buddha. The Buddha elevated the status of women by pointing out that the woman is the mother of man, and no man is worthy of the respect and reverence than a mother. He did not stop by elevating the status of women in the society, but also ventured to establish Bhikshuni Sasana, Bhikshuni order, on the request of Mahaprajapati Gautami, the Buddha's foster mother. After the establishment of Bhikshuni order, women were made totally free for religious activities, regardless of class, caste, and creed. Like, they all took the refuge of the Buddhist order. Actually, after the establishment or after the emancipation given by the Buddha, women had freedom to lead their life uh, freely. So that women, their contribution to Buddhism was accelerated after gaining the power for ordain. Before that, women could only contribute to Buddhism in limited ways, as giving birth to sons, raising them according to Buddhist values, and letting them join the Buddhist order and taking part in rituals and attending to the Buddha and the disciples. Like that, their contribution to Buddhism was limited in certain ways. But later, like, female disciples showed that women also could attain dignified positions like monks, and they were quite eligible for spiritual emancipation and cultural development, which was essential for the establishment of Buddhism in the world. Like after this, after establishing Buddhist thought, they were quite parallel with men, so they had like full freedom, full emancipation to do their activities, like to lead their worldly life and spiritual life in the according to the Buddhist way. So when we talk about the contribution of women towards Buddhism, the theories, Buddhist theories take the first place. We can't talk about contribution of women towards Buddhism without talking about the theories. Actually, like theories also attained the bliss of nirvana through their exertions. They seem to be glad to have escaped from the tremendous hardships and suffering of the family life. Their contribution to Buddhism has no limit actually, and their life, when we talk about, when we think about the life stories of the theories, they are really exemplary for any woman to follow. I will take one or two examples from theories that are really inspiring and that are really motivating for women to follow. One good example, such interesting example is the story of Bhikkhuni Subha. Once she was meditating in a forest, one man who was attracted to her beauty tried to get her attention, and he admired her beauty, especially the beauty of her eyes. So she was not flattered by the cheating words and by the flattery of this man, and she pulled out her eyes that he admired, and gave them to this man who was fascinated to the beauty of her eyes. So like that, so women, like the theories were such brave, such great personalities, because they were modeled by Buddhism. This story and other highly motivational life stories of other theories, they are evidence that they were ready to sacrifice even their lives on behalf of Buddhism. They considered Buddhism as the most foremost aspect in their lives. Uh, Female disciples led the society to relieve other women and men from their suffering. The Buddha showed that even women could bear any social position, and women could lead the society, and women could relieve people from their suffering. So Buddha showed their capabilities, their potentials, by giving them different leadership positions in the order. So, for example, from the canon, when we take examples from the canon, the Buddha paid tribute to women for their exemplary achievements. So, some examples are like Teri Patachara was praised for her commendable monastic discipline. So, like Teri Patachara was the best discipline theory. So then Theory Kema was endowed with remarkable insight. So they were great personalities. So another example is Teri Dhammadinna was the foremost for her supremacy in teaching the Dhamma, teaching the Buddha's Dhamma. Then Sundari Nanda Thera was praised for her excellence in meditation. Another example is Bhadda Kapilani theory was admired for her ability to recall past lives. Then not only that, Bhadda Kundalikesa theory for her intuition. They are like theory Sakura for had supreme heavenly visions. So another example is Uppalavanna theory was the Uppalavanna theory had her supernormal powers. Likewise, Buddhism has introduced radical changes in the doctrine as well as in the practical side of the religious life. So these women were restricted to households before the Buddha, but the Buddha took them to the social world, and Buddha gave them chances to serve the society, serve the Buddha Sasana in different ways. All these female disciples completed their duties to the full. They thought about, they completed their duties for the Buddha Sasana and their personal enrichment, right? So like the male disciples, all these theories also fulfilled their responsibilities without any delay. Their contribution to Buddhism is immeasurable. So not only the nuns, like the female lay disciples also have contributed to Buddhism immensely in various ways. Like lay disciples, upasika, like those they looked after the theories, they looked after the Buddha, they look after the disciples with utmost reverence, completing all their needs. So Queen Vishaka was the chief among the female-led followers and the followers of the Buddha, uh, like Queen Vishaka was the chief among the female lay followers of the Buddha, and she contributed all her wealth for the benefit of Buddha Sasana. So the other female lay disciples like Sumana Devi, the daughter of Anathapindika, Queen Mallika, the chief wife of King Pasenadi, then Samavati, Uttara, Supi, and many more lay disciples immensely contributed in different ways. All of them possessed high knowledge of the doctrine and observed Uposatha Sila. So we cannot restrict their contribution just naming, like just introducing one or two, because like most admirable is that these lay disciples fulfilled their duty to Buddha Sasana while completing their duties to the family and the society according to the Buddhist norms and values. So as pointed out in Singalovada Sutra, they lived in accordance with the Buddhist doctrine and the completing and fulfilling the responsibilities and duties introduced in the Singalovada Sutra. They showed their obedience to Buddhism through practice. Like every single word they uttered and every type of behavior showed their knowledge and acceptance of Buddhism, and they are the acceptance of Buddhism and Buddhist values and norms. All these female characters are the, I would like to introduce them as all rounders because they fulfilled all their duties to their husbands, children, family, society, and most of all, they are due to the duty to the Buddha Sasana or Buddhist order. So that is, then I would like to move or take some examples from Sri Lanka also. Like in Sri Lanka, like theories headed by Theri Sangamitha arrived in Sri Lanka during the reign of King Devanampiyathissa, and recited the 5 Vinaya books and 7 Abhidhamma treatises at Anuradhapura. She initiated Queen Anula and 500 other women into order. With the ordination of Queen Anula and her followers, the order of female disciples was founded in Sri Lanka. Actually, like King Devanampiyathissa supported Buddhism a lot. That stately support was given to Buddhist establishment of Buddhism in Sri Lanka by King Devanampiyathissa, and he erected a nunnery for Theri Sangamitha. There she remained till her death, working for the progress of Buddha Sasana and the doctrine and the nuns. So the Sri Maha Bodhisattva brought by her is highly venerated in Sri Lanka to the present. Even though the Bhikkhuni order has formally disappeared from Sri Lanka, still Sri Lankan women follow Theri Sangamitha and her followers as exemplary characters. Like as a result of this solid Buddhist foundation on women, later many Buddhist heroines, Buddhist great personalities, have appeared in the world. One such example, another example from Sri Lanka is Vihara Mahadevi in Sri Lanka, who sacrificed her life for the safety of the country, like safety of the country, because she presenting herself to go to the sea at the time of peril of tsunami as a vow to save Sri Lankans and Sri Lankan people and the country. Actually, she was kind of a hero, a brave woman who was able to sacrifice her life on behalf of the Buddhism, on behalf of her mother country. So I am sure that there are such brave women who have been modeled by Buddhism throughout the world. In the recent past, we admire the contribution of Mrs. Caroline Rhys Davids, who has helped in dissemination of Buddhism in the West by translating Pali text into English. In the modern society, we can see there are many such women who contribute in propagation of Buddhism throughout the world through their scholarly work. That is also another way of contribution to Buddhism. So, that Buddhism, even though the Buddhism started from the started in India and spread into Asian countries, then with the immense, because of this scholarly contribution of men and women, like it was spread to, it became more popular in the West also. At present, at present also, women play major roles in Buddhist countries, both in Theravada and Mahayana traditions, supporting the existence of Buddhism in different ways. In Mahayana Buddhism, women are given a prime place and they contribute to Buddhism a lot. Many Buddhist women in the world lead their countries in the modern times also. One such good example is Aung San Suu Kyi from Myanmar. She is a Buddhist woman who has dedicated her life on behalf of Buddhism in her country. Actually, not only that, there are various Buddhist organizations where women actively engage in various activities throughout the world. So they help to propagate Buddhism in the world. They engage in various social activities based on Buddhism, and they especially they engage in ritualistic activities like that. Even today women take part in various Buddhist ceremonies, rituals, while attending to the monks and monks, while looking after monks, giving dana and all those things, and looking after temples. In all these contribute to the existence of Buddhism to the future too. So, likewise, when we think about the past, so starting from the Buddhist theories, when it comes to present, we can see many Buddhist women, female characters who have helped a lot, who have supported a lot towards the benefit, towards the existence, towards the prevalence of Buddhism to the presence. So actually, at the beginning of my talk, I claimed that there won't be Buddhism if the women didn't contribute to it. Now we can understand, since the birth of the Bodhisattva, now it is very clear, since the birth of Prince Siddhartha, how various female characters have contributed differently for the origin of Buddhism and its existence. That's why I said, women have, there won't be Buddhism for the presence if if women didn't contribute to it in various ways. So actually, I will wind up my talk with a tribute to all women who have contributed to Buddhism immensely. So may all women attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Thank you very much for listening to my speech. Uh, Teruvan Saranai.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for that very useful information that we have learned today with regards to Buddhist women's contribution to Buddhism. Uh, there are no questions that I see from the audience this evening. So, if there are no questions, can we just quickly go to the Anumodana, this transference of merits to the departed beings and the Devas? Would you kindly do the Anumodana?
Shall we all together do the
Yeah,
Anumodana? Yeah,
yeah, sure, sure.
yeah. Okay. Akasattata Bummata
Tatsumata Devana
Devanaga Mahitika
Mahitika
Punyatika
Yatang
Punyantang
Anumo
Anumoditva Chiran
Moditva Chirang
Rakkantu
Rakantu Loka
Loka
Sasanang
Sasanam Chiran Rakkantu
Rakantu
Loka
Loka
Desanam Chiran
Sasanang
Antu
Rakantu
Mamparanti
Paranti
Sad
Sadhu.
Sad Sad.
Thank you, Doctor. So we
Thank you
have
very much.
come to the end of this evening's Dhamma sharing about the comments, the immense contribution of women to Buddhism. And we would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the monks and the committee of management of the Buddhist Mahavihara for Dr. Nipunika for taking time off from her busy university schedule to be with us this evening to conduct this Dhamma sharing, and also to our sponsors this evening for who had graciously sponsored this evening's Dhamma sharing, and to all our listeners who have been listening to us live here at the Buddhist Mahavihara's Dhammadana series on our Facebook page. Thank you for joining us. Before we end, with that, we've come to the end of this evening sharing. With that, good night and sadhu.
Good night. Terwan
Thank,
Saranai.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
Doctor.
Okay, thank you.